We'll start with the most basic object that we can have within Kubernetes and Openshift, which is the pod. You already know that the pod is the minimum work unit with which you can use your Openshift. So just like we do in Kubernetes with the ctl command, here I can create a pod directly from the command line with OC. So I'm going to type OC run. I'm going to give it the name I want to give to the pod, in this case Nginx1. And then I'm going to give it the image I want to work from, in this case --image equal Nginx. What is this going to do? Well, the same thing we do in Kubernetes. It's going to go to docker.io. It will look for an image called Nginx. It will bring it to you and it will run it. You have to keep in mind that later throughout the course we will see that in addition to the Docker repository, we are going to use other repositories that come with Red Hat OpenShift and also internal ones. But well, for now, to start and not worry too much, we are going to use the same mechanism that we use within our Kubernetes. You have to keep in mind that if you have not used the security command that I mentioned in the previous chapter, this will give you either warnings or errors depending on the type of container and the type of image we want to download. If you did that, you will not have any problem here. It tells me that it has created a pod called Nginx1. So how can I see the pods? Well, just like we did in Kubernetes, OC get pod. And this way I can verify that I have my Nginx pod, which is working, it does not have any restart, and has been active for 13 seconds. Those of you who come from Kubernetes or are used to it will think that this is the same as in Kubernetes. In fact, if I do here OC describe pod Nginx1, remember that in both kubectl and OC commands, we will have the command, the type of the object, in this case the pod, and then the name of the object, in this case Nginx1. What if I launch this? Well, as also happens in Kubernetes, it's going to tell me the properties and the characteristics of this object. It's going to tell me, well, look, this is called Nginx1 and it's in this namespace. You see that here it's not talking about a project but about a namespace. Here it tells me the service account it is working with. If you remember in the previous chapter, when we did the security thing, we set it to default so that it would allow working with this service account. I already told you, don't worry about the security issue, much less at this point in the course, because it's quite outside of what we are doing now. Well, here we have the labels, the annotations, the container that you are using. You see that in this case, CRIO is being used at the container runtime level and that the image has been taken from Docker.io, right? That is, it has taken Nginx from the Docker library repository, the state it's in, and we can also see events that have occurred from this resource. Well, as you can see, very similar or practically the same as in Kubernetes. In fact, during the course I will make these references continually, so that those of you who don't know much can get an idea, and you can also review concepts that you already know. Well, once we have seen how this is created, we are going to see in the following video how we can see it, but from the web layer.